Let's recap last night's action, and let's start with the Steelers. Oh my gosh, defensive-driven win over the Browns. Can we talk about Alex Highsmith, edge rusher extraordinaire? He started the night with this pick six of Deshaun Watson. Oof, oof. This is on the game. This is the opening play of the game. I was like, what are we doing here? He puts the Steelers in front 7-zip, just 9 seconds in. Ed Rooney, Ferris Bueller, 9 seconds, okay? And then he also ended it with this guy, this strip sackarooski of Deshaun in the fourth quarter. Let's see what happens here. Okay, a little strip sack action, and that is TJ Watt scooping and scoring to put the Steelers in front for good. Highsmith had 14.5 sacks last year during Watt's injury-riddled season, and he's picking up right where he left off. So I think it's time we start talking about, speaking of twos and Tuesdays and all that, this duo is the best in the NFL. Okay? They're the best in the NFL, not just TJ Watt. It's not all about Watt here. The former third-round pick out of Charlotte has just continued to get better every single year and is an absolute force. The Steelers' offense, they got some things to work out. Oh, boy. I got lit up about what I said about the Steelers' offense in the offseason, but they got to figure some things out going forward. They picked up 9 first downs on the night while punting, I believe, 7 times. So I'll say they did play last year's #1 defense in the Niners in week 1, so that's tough. And the Browns' defense looks pretty top 5-y, if you ask me. But this offense still seems completely out of whack right now. Pickett hasn't looked sharp. The run game, which the lighting up of my Twitter was about Najee and all of that. They're struggling. And outside of the 74-yard touchdown from George Pickens, which we all thought and think is going to happen every week based on the highlight reels we saw all preseason and training camp, outside of that, they weren't able to get much going at all, and they need to fix it ASAP. Luckily, we got a nice little schedule. We got a nice little thing. We got a nice, sweet couple games coming up, okay? They get the Raiders next week, the Texans after that. This was a huge win to avoid 0-2, and they have a chance to put themselves in a really good position by that quarter mark of the season. So that game also, unfortunately, overshadowed it sometimes by some injuries. We're not going to show it. I never want to see it, ever. Nick Chubb with the knee injury. Kevin Stefanski saying last night that he's expected to miss the entire 2023 season. We love Nick Chubb. Everyone does. He's like what you would build as a football player. And my heart goes out to him and his healing process, mentally, physically, spiritually, with what he went through in college and his career and his potential. And just what a great guy he is on and off the field. I just wish him the best, and you hate to see it. So heal up, and we'll see you soon. We did get some good news this morning on what looked like the scary situation for Minkah Fitzpatrick. Speaking of injuries, he left this game, and he went to a local hospital last night. According to Tom Pelissero, he was released from the hospital. It appears to just be a chest contusion. Oh, just a run-of-the-mill chest contusion, no big deal. But he should be okay going forward, thankfully, sending him good thoughts this morning. We hate seeing stars get hurt. It's the absolute worst. But it does appear he's likely to have dodged a major situation, a major injury last night. Now, the other game, before we get to it, let's see. Bosa is Himothy. We'll see how, oh man, Bosa's got Daniel Jones. Bosa's got Daniel Jones in 48 hours. Oh, what's that going to look like? I can't wait to talk to him about that. Get well soon, Nick Chubb. We love the good vibes. Love Nick Chubb. Who doesn't? Is Danny DeNiro practicing moving away from wherever Bosa is on the field? That's a question from Joseph. We'll ask about Bosa and company in just a little bit when he joins the show. Debo joining the show. I like that we have the 2 players facing off on week 3 to kick it off on the program today. It's very special, and I'm really grateful for that. The other game last night, are the Saints going to the Super Bowl? They go to 2-0 after knocking off the Panthers 20-17. Is Sean Payton watching this game like, oh boy, okay, it wasn't pretty. It was ugly, okay? It wasn't pretty. It was like their 16-15 win over the Titans in week 1. Not beautiful, but got the job done, right? New Orleans got a lot of positive takeaways from this one because we saw what I expected. Michael Thomas looking like his old self, okay? 7 catches for 55. We love you. We love it. I'm here for the story, the character arc, all of it. Let's go. And that's, by the way, all in the first half. Carr, tough moments, kind of expected, but he came alive in the second half when they needed him to, and he stepped up and made plays. A few dimes to Chris Olave downfield, and one in particular that resulted in what I'm going to ask Debo about, probably with my first freaking question, was this, and this is a beautiful ball by Derek. Nobody's going to say that because they're going to say, oh, yeah, it was a beautiful ball, okay? be it a juggling situation, it's awesome. And the defense has been lights out so far this season, and I love when the Saints have a great defense, and I love Cam Jordan, so I'm happy for him and DeMario and all those guys down there. And I love them all, okay? They sacked Bryce Young 4 times last night. They finally allowed their first touchdown of the season in garbage time with 1:16 left to go. So you can make your jokes about Derek Carr. This offense is only going to get stronger as he settles in, as Michael Thomas. I mean, is it possible for him to not have some sort of rust on him? For him to have some sort of the chemistry, all of that? They're going to settle in, and they're going to click even more, okay? And by the way, Week 2's over. Week 3, they don't have Alvin Kamara. And then, boom, here comes maybe the most dangerous dude in the NFL. And all of that's great. If the defense keeps playing like this, this is a playoff squad that's going to go far. They're going to go very far. And I can't wait. I've got to get to New Orleans. I've got to go. Hey, thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest Up and Adams content right on YouTube.